$214. That's what's left after rent, after the car, after the groceries, after everything that month costs you. $214 in a checking account on a Tuesday in October. You are either 22 years old or 32 years old, and that number looks exactly the same on both screens. But it isn't the same. Not even close. By the time both of them are 60, the distance between them will be $1,200,000. From the same $214. From the same Tuesday. From the same decision made differently by 10 years. This is that story. Path A. You are 22. Your first real paycheck after taxes is $1,940. The job is entry level. The office has fluorescent lighting and a coffee machine that sounds like it's in pain. You open a Roth IRA on a Sunday night. The balance is $0. You fund it with $200. It feels like nothing. It is nothing, numerically. You do it anyway. You set a recurring transfer for the first of every month. Automated, the day after payday. You never see it leave. That is the point. You eat at home 5 nights a week, not from discipline, but from math. Your rent is $780. By the end of year 1, you have $2,400 in the Roth IRA and $1,600 in a high-yield savings account. You learn one thing about index funds. The expense ratio matters more than the name. You move everything into a total market fund at 0.03%. You close the tab and don't think about it again for 3 months. That is also the point. The first rule, the most important financial decision you will ever make is not which stock to buy. It is which month you begin. The month compounds. At 25, your Roth IRA holds $11,200. The market dropped once. The balance fell to $8,400 over 6 weeks. You bought more. Not from courage, from understanding. You knew what you owned. It wasn't going to zero. You held. At 27, you have $31,000 invested across 3 accounts. You still eat lunch at your desk. You still split streaming passwords. Nobody knows. You don't tell anyone. You've learned that money at this level makes people strange. Path B. You are 32. Your first decade of working life is real. You worked. You got promoted. You moved apartments. You had a relationship that lasted 4 years and ended on a Saturday in March. You lived. The living was real. The investing didn't happen. Not from stupidity, not from laziness, from the same reason most things don't happen. There was always something more immediate. The trip, the move, the month where 3 things broke at once. At 32, you make $74,000 a year. You have $8,400 in an old 401k. You have $2,100 in savings. You have $4,800 in credit card debt at 22.99% APR that you've been paying the minimum on for 14 months. You open a Roth IRA on a Sunday night. The balance is $0. You fund it with $200. It feels exactly like it would have felt at 22. That is the cruelest part. The action feels identical. The outcome will not be. The second rule, the cost of waiting is invisible until it isn't. You don't feel the $1,200,000 gap on the Tuesday you decide not to start. You feel it 30 years later when the math shows you what the machine built for someone else while you were doing other things. You pay off the credit card over 11 months. One Thursday in February, the balance goes to 0 and you take a screenshot and you don't send it to anyone. Then you start. $300 a month into the Roth IRA. Automated. You do everything Path A did at 22. The actions are identical. The clock is not. Path A, age 35. Your accounts hold $87,000. You have been investing for 13 years. You have never timed the market, never sold in panic, bought the same fund on the first of every month regardless of what the market was doing. The compounding is quiet. It does not announce itself. The numbers just change every time you look. You do the math, it changes how you see everything. Your $87,000, growing at 7% annually, becomes $661,000 by age 60 without adding a single additional dollar. Just from the machine running while you sleep. The shift. You stop thinking about money as something you earn. You start thinking about it as something you deploy. Path B. Age 35. Your accounts hold $31,600. 3 years of consistent investing. The same number Path A had at 27. 8 years behind. You are not in crisis. You are doing the right things. But when you run the projections, the gap is already visible, and it is already large, and it grows every month. Not because you are doing anything wrong, but because the machine that ran for 13 years for Path A was not running for you. You increase the contribution to $500 a month. You find $200 you didn't know you had. You put it in the machine and don't look at it. The third rule, You cannot recover lost time. You can only decide what the machine does with what remains. The decision made today is worth more than the same decision made next year. Not slightly more, exponentially more. Age 60, both paths. Path A, investment accounts, $2,100,000. At a 4% withdrawal rate, $84,000 a year. Mortgage paid, car paid. Options, concrete, real, specific options about what the next 30 years look like. You think about the Sunday night at 22 when you put $200 into an account with a balance of $0. That first $200, compounded over 38 years at 7%, became $2,900. One contribution, one Sunday night. Path B, investment accounts, $880,000. 28 years of discipline, every month without missing one. The $880,000 is real, and it is yours, and you built it. At 4% withdrawal, it produces $35,200 a year. Combined with Social Security, you can retire. Not comfortably, carefully. The margin exists, but it is thin. You are not a failure. You worked for 38 years and you have $880,000, and that is real. But the number Path A has that you don't is $1,220,000. And it was never about income, never about discipline, never about intelligence. It was about a Sunday night at 22 that you spent doing something else. Somewhere right now, there is a 22-year-old with $214 in a checking account on a Tuesday in October. There is nothing left except $214 and a decision that doesn't feel like a decision because $200 a month feels like nothing. It is not nothing. It is the machine. There is also a 32-year-old with $214 on the same Tuesday. The 10 years behind them are gone. They are not coming back. But the next 28 years are ahead, and the machine runs forward, not backward. It runs for whoever starts it. It runs on the first of every month. It runs while you sleep, while you work, while you are doing something else entirely. The balance is $214. It always starts near there. For both of them, it always will.